Hey guys, welcome back to Bearded Lumber. Matthew and I appreciate you tuning in today. Things are getting back to normal. We got a bunch of white pine here we're going to saw, and this is a blessing for more reasons than you know. We're going to cover them in just a minute, so hang on and we'll be right back. Okay guys, like I said, we appreciate you watching. It's kind of back to normal for us. We posted a couple videos that should be out by now. This is kind of 10 days past Hurricane Helene. I did not go out and film any videos of people's property, trees down, such as that. I've seen enough of that on YouTube, and I didn't want to add to that. Let me preface all that by saying I was in the fire department for 10 years as a volunteer. I was a captain in our local fire department, and we went through some adverse conditions during the time that I was, volunteering. Nothing near what we're doing now, but no mass casualty type events that unfortunately they're having to deal with. But still, loss of life, loss of property, major fire, just stuff like that. And as always, which is a great thing, American people want to help, want to volunteer, try to do all they can. That being said, sometimes volunteer at the wrong time can be more trouble than it's worth. If you want to volunteer in your community from this day forward, go out and join your local volunteer fire department, join your rescue squad, join your Red Cross, volunteer for Samaritan's Purse. There's lots of good charities that when things happen, they jump into action. And when they jump into action, they've got people, they've got resources, they got channels of command to make things happen. They got inroads with community and local, state government that you and I as an individual don't have. When Samaritan's Purse calls up, just say our county manager up here says, hey man, we want to come in and help where you need us. They know what they're getting. When I drive up there and say, hey man, I want to volunteer, they don't know what they're getting. And I don't come with any insurance, I don't come with any liability, I'm just Joe Blow trying to volunteer. Now we did do some volunteering around here and helping our neighbors, and that's perfectly acceptable. But for me to pick up me and Matthew and go to Chimney Rock and try to help out, we're not going to be any help. They got all the help they need with authorized volunteers that are there, that are skilled, knowledgeable, and they're covered under somebody else's liability as well. So just a little PSA, if you really want to help out in these types of situations, start today and volunteer for these organizations. Get in on their rolls, get in on their insurance, and when things happen, you'll get a phone call, hey, we're moving a food wagon up here to so-and-so, can you go volunteer? Yes sir, away you go. So enough on that. That's why we're not covering it. I'm not looking to grow YouTube viewers, our YouTube channel, with somebody else's misery. That is just not what we're going to do here. But I do wish you'd keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Body count keeps rising, and that's very, very unfortunate. So what do? Just keep me in your thoughts and prayers. We're very fortunate here in our rural community. We don't have a river, a lake within 10-15 miles, so our damage here was just limited to trees and wind power. I tell you, the biggest thing that irritated me was the loss of connectivity with the internet. Not so much that I could sit and scroll through my phone, but being able to connect with our emergency management, being able to get the texts that come from federal and state emergency management. They're sending these out, and I'm like, people, we have no cell phone service. you'd been better off if you'd dropped a letter in my mailbox, you know. But that's an argument for another day. We've made some changes here. That should be here in a couple weeks, and I hope to not suffer through the connectivity problems that we had ever again. Because you got, my oldest son lives here, I live here, Matthew's here, my mom and dad's out on the other end, all the way at the end of the road. If you go down the street and go up the next highway or next road, you know, I got an uncle, 2 cousins, an uncle and aunt, you know, another uncle out there. I mean, there's a lot of family here that had no connectivity, and if I can be the one in the neighborhood that offers connectivity to where they can come over here, grab the internet, make a call, because we make all our calls over voice over IP right here, because we're down in a little hole, and the cell tower is that way up over a hill, and the other cell tower is that way up over a hill. So there's no good cell service. So we're struggling with internet, and when you got no internet, you got no connectivity. So enough about that, enough on that rant. Life's getting back to normal. Shout out to all the people that's helping, but today we got to saw wood. What we got here is a bunch of white pine, and I told you this was a special blessing for a reason. This is technically our first motor planer customer from start to finish. We're going to saw it today, we're going to kiln dry it, and as soon as we get the motor planer up and running, it's going to run through it. This is going back to a very nice camp in a county adjacent to us, and it's a Girl Scout camp, not a Girl Scout, but it's a girls camp, and they're going to remodel all the bathrooms, and this is going to be tongue and groove 1x8 nickel gap, and they're going to remodel all the bathrooms in their cabins with this wood that come off their property. So it's very special to me that all this money and time and effort that Matthew and I spent, this is the end goal. These trees came down off their property. Not sure if they blowed down or they needed took down, one or the other. But they come off their property, they brought them to us, we're going to process them, take them back, and they're going to put them back in their cabins. And they have a special affinity for that wood because it come off their property. I mean, it's a circle, and that's what I've been trying to get to with everything that we have here, the sawmill, the kiln, and now the motor planer, is to be able to take a piece of wood, a stick, a tree, a lot of trees off a person's property, run it through the whole process and hand it back to them, and then be able to utilize it in their property. So it's a wonderful day. We got 3 sizes. I got 9s, or 2 sizes. I got 9s and 12s. So we're going to start with the 12-foot logs. I got 3 of them laid over there already, ready to go. Now this customer's order is probably going to be a little bigger than he brought material for, so we're going to make up the difference with a few of my logs to get to the board foot number that he needed. But that's neither here nor there. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll try to hush up. We'll get started. Now we're shooting for one particular size. He wants 1x8s. That's all he wants. Because I asked him, I said, you know, if he could use some 4s, 6s, whatever, and he said no. I won't tell you why, but he said we need 1x8s. So that's all we're shooting for. Is technically I'm gonna cut a 1x8.5, and when it dries, it'll squeeze down to 8 1/4, 8 3/8, and that should give us the perfect width to run through a motor planer and to make a 7 3/4 to an 8-inch exposure. You know, because when you do tongue and groove, everything that's on the tongue you can't count as exposure. You can only count from, you know, the width of it. So enough talking. Let's get everything fired up. It's Monday morning. It takes a little bit to get motivated, but we're getting there. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's get started. Oh, the lightning's over here is horrible. Well, if you seen that, you seen it break a blade. That's what happens. Just blam, come to a stop. We found the easiest way on broken blades sometimes is just to cut it, get the mill out of the way, and then try to pull that piece out of the log. It seems to work easier, work safer. So now we got to get the other one out of the mill, get a new one on it. Okay guys, we got the first two 12-footers cut. We got the last one here on the mill. Those are good logs. We got 37 perfect 1x8s, 1x8.5 by 12s, and Matthew got a couple flitches off of it. Now we could have got more flitches, but if you was watching the wider boards, anything that would clear up a good 8.5, I was just pushing it off to the side, and we were making stickers. We were making stickers because our pile over here in the corner was about out of green stickers. Now here in another month or so, once we get this oak out of the kiln and we start cycling through all this white pine we got, they 7,200 board feet already cut over there. Plus we're getting ready to cut about 4,000 board feet here. We'll have a whole bunch of stickers to fill our sticker bin back up, but I don't put wet ones over there because they will mold and mildew. They'll mold in the corner sitting there. But I don't mind using them on green wood. We're using the exact stickers that come off of this wood, so there won't be any problem. And we're going to molder plane it, so if it does leave a little mark, it's going away anyhow. Our sawing technique for this is a little different because we're shooting for one good size piece of board. That's an 8.5 inch wide. So I took a clearing cut off the back, try to get down till it's at least, you know, depending on the log, 9, 10, 12 inches wide. Then I'll stand it up and I'll cut down. Once I get to a square edge, I'll try to keep them. The rest of the ones that are double-sided, I'll send to Matthew the edge. Push them off the mill, get a stack of them up, roll it over, cut the other side down to 8.5. If I miss it a little bit, maybe I'll stop at 9.5 or 10 and roll it over and take the last two cuts off the other side. I'm trying to center the heart. I'm bringing the log in from both sides. I'm trying to center the heart in my board, the heart grain. Now you won't get any heart till you get right in the middle of the log. 2 or 3 boards right there will have a heart cut in it, but I want the rest of them kind of centered through, and that's why I'm doing it that way. And then we'll take all those flitches, stand them up, and make a bunch of stickers. That's the cost of doing business. We got to have stickers. Anytime we're sawing for a customer, sawing for ourselves, sawing for inventory, it takes stickers. This 12-foot stack, there's 9 stickers per layer, and we're doing 15 layers. So what's 9 times 14 is a bunch. So we're going to take a break here and drink our coffee, and we'll get back, knock this one out. And we got some, probably wait, we got some big 9-footers. He's got one loaded over on lift arms. Probably what, 30 inches or better? Now that I'll have to saw a little differently. I'll probably try to take the top off of it, and if I can, it drop down 8.5, or turn it over, then take the top off of it, drop it down, take an 8.5 inch thick cant off, just slide it off onto the tractor, and then work up the rest of the log. When we get done, put the 8.5 cant back up there and make boards out of it. So let's quit talking, take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, we finished up all the 12-footers. They're out of here. It's 467.5 board feet. We had 55 perfect 1x8.5 by 12s. Now we're moving on to this big old log here. This is 9.5 feet. It's 24 inches on this face and 27 on the big end down there. And that's about perfect. Couldn't ask for no better unless it was dead even, but 3 inches of taper on a 9-foot log is not that bad. Now I've laid out the cuts here. I get a lot of people asking, what I'm thinking. Well, this is what I'm thinking on this big log. And it took all of just a few seconds to figure this out in my mind. It took longer to write it down. So what I'm gonna do here, this will be a waste cut. Be first, second, third flitches. We'll roll the log up and we'll have a waste cut, 4, 5, 6, 7 flitches. And while it's turned up, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down and take an 8.5 inch cut here. They should be 15 good ones here and 3 or 4 that will make 4.5 and 6.5. And then we'll probably turn the log up and cut it down till it gets square here, and there'll be 4 flitches here. Now I didn't count these as good boards. And then I'll put it all the way on, this will be all the way on the top, and we'll go waste, flitch, flitch, and it should have 8.5 left. Now what that gives me is 3, 7, 8, 9 boards that should make 8.5 inches. This one should make 15, and this one should make 16. That's 31 plus the 9. This log, by this cutting method, should make 40 perfect 1 inch by 8.5 by 9.5 boards. Now that's what I'm thinking. Now if we get into it and there's a defect, of course things will have to change. But if it looks as good on the inside as it does the outside, this is side 1, side 2, this will slide off, and then we'll finish up side 3 and 4, and we'll cut this cant all the way down. Then we'll load this one back up, and we'll start here and go till we get it to 8.5 wide, and then we'll cut it all the way down. Now I'll probably, like this, when I'll start on a half number, like right here. I'll probably start on like 18.5, cut it down till 15 to 16, wherever we get a true board. Cut halfway through on the half, and then I'll turn it all the way over, and I'll come back at 7 or 8 inches, take that 1/2 inch cut, throw it away, and cut it all the way to the bottom. I always like to leave a 1/2 inch just in case the cant moves or I damage it with a claw, turning it, a little 1/2 inch throwaway is no big deal. So this is my thoughts on cutting a big log. And I'm sure there's 100 different ways of doing it, but this seems to be the most productive, the fastest way. You get the most yield out of it. So
for a mill our size.
For a LT35. Now if I had a 70, we'd probably cut it different. But on a 35, I can't get any lower than about right here, and I'm gonna hit. I'm probably gonna hit before then out there because the log gets a little bit wider. So that's why I stopped here, and that's why I come down this way. So enough talking. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come back and knock this thing out. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that log helps you think about how you're gonna saw. Now I did have to modify my cut just a little bit. Where I planned on cutting in half, it was too wide to go through the guide rollers. So I stood it up and cut it down till I had it 17 inches wide, which equals 2.5 cans. And that actually worked out good because I said we'd yield 40, we got 44. So there you go, that's the way we saw it. Yeah, I could have got some 4.5s to 6.5s out of those wide flitches, but we needed stickers. We're using 7 stickers per row on this, you know, and they go away in a hurry. So, and the customer only wants 8.5s, the 4.5s and 6.5s. I'm gonna have to do something else with. So, right now it's better to make stickers. That's probably gonna do it for this video. We got a whole lot more to saw. We won't bore you with it. We need about 4,000 board feet of this. The next video will probably be us putting it in, getting it out of the kiln, and ready to process it through our molder planer. We're gonna take this one all the way through, start to finish. We're waiting on one little part for our molder planer. Hopefully it'll be here this week. And we had a guy scheduled. We'll get him rescheduled to come down here and give Matthew and I some customized training on this particular machine. And if he's not scared of YouTube, we'll do our best to do a YouTube video of it. If he is scared of YouTube, we're gonna video it for our own benefit. We're gonna ask him some questions, and if we forget, we can go back and review the video. But either way, we're gonna video it. Hopefully he's not scared of YouTube, and we can post some of it for you to enjoy. But he's 30-year lining technician. He's an independent contractor now. He works for himself. But he does exactly what he's going to do for us. Come down here, give us a day's training, help us set the machine up, answer all kinds of questions. He's one of the few people that's old enough to remember how to run that computer. So that's going to do it, guys. As always, appreciate Matthew and Solomon doing our videos. Don't forget to check out Third Beard Fishing. And if I didn't say it, we're sawing all this wood with a Wood-Mizer double hard Turbo 7 55 thousandths thick blade. We buy those from Wood-Mizer. It's an excellent blade. I don't know how much it would be time lapse, but if you're watching how fast I'm sawing, if I was running a 45 thousandths blade, I wouldn't be near that fast because these little knots are hard, and a 45 is going to walk over it. That 55 thousandths plows right through it until it gets dull. Now, when it gets dull, you got to change it. But while it's sharp, can't beat it. As always, guys, appreciate you watching. Remember, you know, Western North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, keep these people in your prayers. What happened here is going to take years to get over with, and some of the scars will never go away. So that's going to do it, guys, and we'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.